the forefathers, the grandfathers of grind. And you on Metal Archives, if you're familiar with the website Metal Encyclopedia, you know, it's said to be like, well, that rivalry is usually battled with Repulsion. So I guess, like, what is your take on that? Would you claim the grind, or?
Here's the thing, man. Sorry, I'm moving around a little bit. I'm sorry if I'm like wigging you out, but it's a bit necessary.
No, it's
what I would say is that with the Repulsion thing is that you got to remember that's only one band. As great as they were, it was about a lot more than that. So Napalm, like, if I sort of rewind a little bit, Napalm when it first started, if anybody's got knowledge of those early releases, doesn't there was a few, like, some other things that were kind of reference points for the band. So when it first started, and we still have the influence of this now, but the band called Crass, you know, which is an anarcho-punk band, you know, that was big on a lot of bands, not only Napalm Death, but excuse me a second, I'm starting to do something a little bit necessary. But so they were a big influence on Napalm Death, but also a lot of sort of alternative things like Jesus and Mary Chain, you know, actually bands like that were like really big with Napalm. And then there was a tempo shift, you know, the band just picked up on not only Repulsion, but like a lot of sort of fast hardcore stuff. Some that was coming from Europe, some was coming from the US, like Siege, Deep Wound, Impact Unit, SSD, all these really great sort of punk hardcore bands from the US. So it kind of sped up around those times, you know. And so there was, my point being, that there's a number of bands, you know. Repulsion was kind of a mix, like punk and metal, really. You know, they were a mix, you know. But then there was some pure hardcore punk stuff that was also the influence. So I guess my point is that there is no one or two bands that were really you could pin it down to the two of them. There were many, you know, even at that point when you could argue the underground was a lot smaller than what it is now, you know. So it's really hard to pin it down, you know. I mean, as for the Godfathers of Grind thing, it's very nice, it's very flattering, but it's not something, to me, it's like, I don't even think about it, you know. It's just not an issue, not a thing for me, really, you know. I mean, the sort of grindcore scene, you got to remember, like, the term grindcore was not even a term, you know. It was Mickey that came up with it, the old Napalm drum, and then somebody just picked up with it and ran with it, you know. Yeah. So it's kind of a floating term, really, you know. And and obviously then when it did sort of become popularized a little bit more, the scene kind of fleshed out, and there's tons of bands, you know, that now that play grind, if you want to call it that, with a spin, you know. So there's a wide breadth of stuff, you know. As a music person, there's some stuff I like, some stuff I don't, you know. But it's all about the scene taking on a life of its own. It's not really for me or any of the other Napalm guys to sort of stand over it in divine, like, you know, kind of judgment or whatever. It will go where it needs to go, and also conversely, Napalm will do what Napalm needs to do. You know, we don't feel constrained by anything. If you listen to our albums, really right across the whole spectrum, everything has something that's taking a chance, if you want to put it like that.
It's cool because you weren't in Napalm right away. You know, you didn't join until about 90, right? So it's cool that you got to experience it all watching it and maybe knowing these guys and stuff. So you kind of have that a more objective perspective, you know, having seen them before actually joining the band and whatnot. So I think that's kind of cool to hear it from you. You know?
Well, the thing is that I was there, you know, but I like during the Scum recording. I was around, you know, when the Scum recording was going on. You know, these are friends of mine, you know. So I used to kick around with them. I used to, I say roadie for them. You couldn't really say that. I was just hanging about in the van, getting drunk, you know. But that's about the extent of my, roadieing, really. But and they were all really good friends of mine, like obviously Mickey, Shane, Lee, and Bill. So yeah, It was really a matter of being in the right place at the right time. So, like at that point, I was also working in the car industry, not directly in the big, like sort of Land Rover like my brother was. I was working for a company that supplied parts to those companies in engineering. That's what I was doing,
Okay.
And then when Lee and Bill left after a Japanese tour, like Shane and Mickey just asked me to join, because they knew what I could do. And I was just like, fuck it, I'll do it, and like 2 weeks later, I think, or something like that, I was on the plane to New York doing a CBGB's gig, with Prong and Blind Idiot God. And, it was pretty wild, pretty wild.
Curious, so you're just saying that at the CBGBs and Prong and stuff, like, you might not have any idea, but like, there's like a live like Prong thing. I wonder if like that's the same session. I guess, do you know what year that was? Do you remember?
Well, put it like this: it was Prong when I fucking loved Prong, which was Primitive Origins. Like
yes,
yeah,
we love that too.
Yes,
yeah.
That was great.
They were fucking great, man. Absolutely raging. So it was us, them, a band called Blind Idiot God, who were more experimental noise, kind of Swans type thing, as you're wearing the shirt.
Yeah.
So yeah, it was good. It was good, and I was just kind of. But then you think to yourself, oh, this is good. I'll do this for a couple of years, and then it'll be something to tell everybody like later on, and then like 30 something years later. Here I am. I didn't expect that.
Right.
Well, and the fact that